Hello, welcome to your wonderful, fabulous life. Now, I have a question for you. What do you appreciate about yourself? Now, while you're thinking about the answer, I want you to stay tuned because today in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 phenomenal things about yourself that you should absolutely appreciate. They're God-designed, unique qualities that make you absolutely amazing. So stay tuned.
We are closer, closer than before. We are closer with God's power.
Hi, my name is Rhonda Crawford, and I want to welcome you to your wonderful, fabulous life. Now, it's probably not too long ago that if I were asked the question what I appreciated about myself, that I probably wouldn't have had much to say. And that's because I was really just kind of taken with this sense of perfectionism and really just struggling with low self-esteem. So anything that I probably could have thought of to answer that would have been overwhelmed and overshadowed by what I thought I needed to get better at, what I didn't like about myself. And so I probably would have felt like there was not much, if anything, that I could say I appreciated about myself. Now, I want to attack that way of thinking today because I'm going to be sharing with you 5 amazing things about yourself that you should absolutely appreciate. And if you take hold of the things that I want to share with you today, they really will help you and show you just how amazing, just how phenomenal, just how wonderful and fabulous you are. And it's all by God's design. So here we go. So the first thing that we should appreciate about ourselves is our personality. Yes, our personality, that unique way that we see and interact with the world around us. Now, in this area of personality, first I want to just start from the ground floor and share this. We all have things about ourselves that we know we want to get better at, we want to grow in, we want to bring more into balance where our personality is concerned in other areas of our lives. That goes without saying, but the presence of those things that we want to get better at does not take away from our value. It doesn't take away from us appreciating the value of who we've been designed to be. And you know, what happens is a lot of times we end up comparing ourselves with others, or because of negative experiences, we end up missing out on the amazingness, if that's a word, amazingness. Maybe I just made that word up, but we end up missing out on the amazingness that we've been created to be. And you know, for me, this area of personality was a big struggle because I've always been on the more introverted side. So I would be around people who were more extroverted, and they would always ask me, well, what's wrong with you? Why aren't you saying more? Why aren't you doing this? Why don't you go out and hang with these people? And it was a constant question that I would hear, what's wrong with you? From a child growing all the way up into my early 20s. And I heard it so much that I began to feel like, okay, there is something wrong with me. I began to feel like my personality was a detriment because of the fact that I wasn't, someone who was just extroverted. I was someone who actually felt overstimulated when I was around groups of people for too long, and I would just want to get away by myself. And it wasn't until I started to learn that God really has designed each and every one of us with a different personality type, that it really is from his design for the purpose that he has specifically for us on this earth to accomplish, that I began to come out of that thinking that I really wasn't someone who was inherently made wrong. I was just operating in a way that was different than the other people around me. And I want to share with you this quote that I found. If you have anything really valuable to contribute to the world, it will come through the expression of your own personality. That single spark of divinity that sets you off and makes you different from every other living creature. So I came to the place where I finally embraced my personality, and I want to share with you to do the same. That's something to go ahead and today stand up and say, I appreciate me. So the second thing we want to appreciate about ourselves is our gifts and our talents. You know, there are some shoes out there that only you can fill, some special equipment designed specifically for you that only you can strap on and wear and walk in. And you know, something that gives us a clue to our gifts and talents is thinking back even to our childhood, to things that may have come easy for us, but for other people it seemed like a struggle for them to accomplish it. And instead of looking at those things and saying, oh, that was really nothing, that's not really important, that's not anything, that's a really big gift or really big talent, instead of us looking at it like that, we need to say, well, no, maybe that is something that is important. Maybe that's part of my equipment, part of my shoes that I'm supposed to be putting on to accomplishing God's purpose for my life. You see, we need to stop doubting our gifts and talents, and we need to start developing our gifts and talents. You know, the Apostle Paul told Timothy this. He said, God doesn't want us to be shy with his gifts, but bold and loving and sensible. And as we appreciate our gifts and talents more, it's only natural that we would want to develop in them and take time to see them grow and share them with the world. So the third thing that we should appreciate about ourselves is what I call our likes and our dislikes. And when I say our likes and dislikes, I'm not just referring to whether you like chocolate cake over vanilla cake, even though chocolate cake is a pretty good choice to go with. But no, I'm talking about our passions. I've heard it said this way: what makes you cry and what makes you sing. Because understanding our passions, understanding our deep-rooted likes and dislikes also gives us a clue into our purpose, into our destiny, into the route that we're supposed to be going, the God-given design for our lives. And I love Dr. Dave Martin's approach to kind of identifying our passions. He gives several questions for us to answer. And he says this, he says, think about what is the first section of the bookstore that you visit. He says, what are your 3 favorite movies, and what is the common thread running through those movies that appeals to you? That kind of gives you insight into your passions. He says, who do you most admire and why? He says, to answer the question, when was the last time you felt strongly about something, and what was it about that something that really fired you up? That gives you a clue to your passion. He says, what type of conversation draws you in? What subject gets you animated when you talk about it? That gives us another clue to our passion. And really, what we need to do is we need to come to a place where we don't ignore or neglect our passion, but we go ahead and explore our passions. And the more we explore them, the more we increase our appreciation for them, and the more it even propels us into the place of divine purpose. So the fourth thing to appreciate about ourselves, y'all, is our body, our physical appearance. Yes, that person that we see when we look in the mirror. Now, whether we're trying to lose weight or whether we're trying to gain weight, we want to come to the place where we finally say, I am at peace with my thighs. I am at peace with my arms. I am at peace with my hips. I am at peace with my hair. And it doesn't matter. See, we want to get to the place where it is time out for us trying to feel like we have to earn us appreciating ourselves because we look a certain way that we think this standard that has been set, we finally arrived at. No, we want to say, you know what? I'm working out because I appreciate you. I'm working out because I love myself. And why do we want to do that? Because that's how God sees us and how he loves us. His love for us is unconditional. His love for us isn't based on some standard that we finally hit, and then he finally says, okay, you hit that standard. You hit, what I've been telling you needed to do for all of these years, so now I can give you my love. No, his love for us, it is extended to us no matter where we are on the obedience spectrum, no matter where we are on the weight spectrum. And that's how our love for ourselves and our appreciation for ourselves has to be as well. And you'll find that if you can make a shift in the way you think about how you see yourself, you'll find that you're able to transform yourself physically easier when you come from the standpoint of, I'm doing it because I'm already the bomb, because I'm already all of that. That's why I'm engaging in these activities to better myself on the outside. So the fifth thing to appreciate about ourselves is our story. That collection of things that has happened to us all the way from the time we've been born to the present, all the way forward into the future and really coming to a place where we have an expectation that no matter how our story began, that it's going to end marvelously. You know, our story is important to God. Your story is important to God. He can use your story for great things. And I want you to know something else, that no matter what parts of your story were disappointing or were hurtful or had failures in them, failure is never final in the economy of God. And one thing that I just appreciate so much about my story is that when I allow God to come in and begin to write on the pages of my life, allow him to now take the reins over, that story that was once just describing just a mess was now transformed into his work of art. And guess what? He is not done with me yet, and he's not done with you yet. And I'm here to tell you, your future looks bright. Your story looks amazing. So appreciate it. So what are some other things that you appreciate about yourself? Share in the comments below. Would love to hear from you. And I'm trusting that this has been of value to you. And if so, I want to ask you to go ahead once again, go ahead once again, share, and go ahead and once again and comment. And we will look to see you next week. Be blessed.
We're together.